Good afternoon, everyone. This tutorial is going to be going over the slow cooker meal for Mississippi roast in the slow cooker. So I have done a couple of these already. If you haven't seen one, then I will show you exactly what you need to do to prep and freeze meals for your slow cooker. So before I get started, I wanted to show you guys that this tool it's a baggie opener, which means I got this on Amazon. I'm not affiliated with this company in any way. It's just been very useful as I've done freezer cooking. It's this really cool little stand with these are adjustable for any size baggies, and it just kind of holds your bag in place while you work. So you'll see in a minute why I swear by these things. So for this recipe, homemade Mississippi roast in the slow cooker, you need to have a gallon size Ziploc storage bag, and make sure you write on there the name of the recipe and cooking instructions. For this recipe, it is you thaw it, obviously, take it out of the freezer and thaw it overnight, and then you cook it, dump the whole bag of contents in your slow cooker for 8 hours. After it's done and the meat shreds easily with the fork, you will shred your meat, add it back to the slow cooker to mix with all of the juices. So let's get started adding our stuff. First thing it calls for is a 2-pound boneless beef chuck shoulder roast. That's what I have sitting here. I've already trimmed the fat and thrown all of that away. So I will get this in the bag. And a lot of times you just have to use your hand with the larger cuts of meat, but that's okay. That's what hand soap's for, right? But got the roast down in the bag, and then you're going to add 2 pounds of carrots that are peeled and chopped. I did not chop my carrots. I like them to be a little bit more whole, so I just bought a bag of bite-sized carrots. Threw those in there, and then it calls for 4 to 6 pepperoncinis, and that's what these pepperoni peppers are. Here's the jar that I used. And then it calls for some of the juice from the jar. So I'm going to pour a little bit of that juice in there, just however much you think you might want. I don't think there's a specific amount written on the recipe. And then, now for this recipe, there is a homemade au jus recipe. I'll be honest with you guys, I just buy the packet and I use the entire packet in this recipe. I've made it before, it comes out great. And then same for the ranch. You can make it yourself, or you can just buy one of the ranch dressing packs and dump it in. I try to keep things as simple as possible, especially when I'm doing large amounts of freezer cooking for time-saving purposes. So that's the last thing you add to the bag, and that's it. So you're going to take the bag out of the holder. If you don't have to use one of those. It holds open, but it stands up pretty good on its own, but you just have to keep one hand on it at all times. Okay, close it up. As always, get the air out. Air is not a friend to freezer meals. Once you get the air out and it's sealed, turn this bag over and start mushing it all around. Get that seasoning on coating your meat and your carrots. Get the pepperoni juice. You can kind of see it's all getting mashed up really well. Just get that pot roast covered. Get the seasoning broken up pretty good. And once you get it mixed up pretty good, you can see here it's pretty coated. You're going to get the air out of it a second time. So squeeze it down at the bottom. I just take it and I squeeze it and I push the air out. I start zipping on the left and squeezing this way. There was something wet on my cutting board, so my bag's a little damp, so I'll be sure to dry that off before I put it in the freezer. And that's it. The air's out. You can see it's pretty flat. And this is just going to be stacked right on top of my next slow cooker, the rest of my slow cooker meals. And when I need a slow cooker dinner, grab this out the night before, thaw it, dump it in the slow cooker. 8 hours later, I have a delicious dinner ready to go for my family. I usually round this out with vegetables and or roasted baby red potatoes. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye, guys.